Hello and welcome to another Reactor stream. My name's Chris with ClickTeam, and today's stream we're going to talk about the Google Play game objects and how to integrate them into your Fusion app. To be honest, I have no experience with this. It's my first time through. Hopefully I've asked Fernando from ClickTeam, who wrote the objects, to join us in chat. Hopefully he drops in. We'll try to go through it together. One of our users, Perry, asked how you do the integration, specifically how to do the integration with the Google Play platform itself. So we'll try to do that in the first half. And then in the second half, we're going to play Sponchies, which was just released, a Made with Fusion game by Trerplay, his sophomore effort on Steam. So let's get started. As you can see, the Google Play objects are available on the Click Store, $39.99. And what they do is they give you access to the entire API of Google Play services, everything from leaderboards to multiplayer and cloud storage. So you can get it by going to the Click Store and searching Google Play games. So let's get to it. So what I did is I went ahead and opened up the two examples that came with it. When you install it, you can get to the examples by navigating to your Fusion 2 install folder, clicking examples, and if you scroll near the bottom, they're both there. So we have Test Play Games Basic, which gives you basic instruction on all of the integrations, and Test Multiplayers, which helps you test multiplayer functionality. We're going to focus on the Play Games Basic, and if after this stream more people want us to dip further into it, we'll talk about the multiplayer. So when you open the Test Play Games, you get login, a frame for logins, a frame for gifts, achievements, leaderboards, cloud saves, and quests, user-based claims, and auto claims. So also, if you go to any one of the objects, in this case if we tap on the Google Play connector and hit edit, I don't know why he has the iOS icon there. He probably should change that. But if you hit, I wasn't supposed to edit the icon. If you hit the help button below it, right here, you get this help for each individual object. So if we look at the code for the login, it looks fairly straightforward. He resets his string at the beginning of the frame. The string is called string, so good job naming your strings, Fernando. Then we have a couple buttons. The login button generates a login with a UI box, and then this login with default account. So I guess the difference there is one allows you to log in with a specific account, and then the other one allows you to log in with whatever the user's tablet or phone is logged in with. Then we have a condition for if you've logged in successful, and you can see we're pulling a bunch of data from the object itself into the string, the player ID number, the player alias, and the player's image URL. So if the player has uploaded their own avatar, you'd be able to pull down the URL from it, which you could then port into a active picture box, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, if the login failed, you get login failed on that string. It includes a logout functionality. So we've got logout when you click on the log 0 button, and then a next frame button. So on inbox UI close, this is interesting. On inbox UI close, set the string to error occurred. So I guess closed means if you manually close it instead of it closing with a successful login. Perry says there's no sound. There should be sound. Yeah, there's sound. Can anyone else not hear me? Can anyone else hear me? We always have this issue with sound. I don't know why. So I can hear us on the stream, so that's Perry, it's got to be you, man. All right, so one thing I noticed when I was searching the objects is in the object's properties, we've got an application ID. Where do we get that from? Good question. So I went ahead and went into my own Google Play platform, and these are some of the apps that I have up currently. We're going to go ahead and play around with America Eagle because, well, freedom. And we'll go into it. And then I noticed under Development Tools, Services and APIs, we have your in-app key, which you use for in-app purchases. And then down here you have use Google Play game services in this app. So I'm going to go ahead and click it. And I'm going to add new game. And we'll put the name of the game. Oh, wrong keyboard. America Eagle. And we'll choose the game that it's, I believe I put it under arcade. And then we continue. So we'll let Google do its thing and let's see what it generates. Mind you, I'm doing this off from the hip. Google sure is taking its time calculating. I got some guys back at headquarters punching numbers into a keyboard. Perry, you may want to try YouTube. We are streaming on YouTube as well. All right. Now, up at the top corner here, we've generated a number. 2961-831-104-374. I'm going to copy that number into a text box. There we go. Wonderful. And then I'm going to go into back to Fusion. And let's see if that's the same length of a number. I bet you it is. So it's safe to say that through that process, I'm able to generate this particular number, which we would want to put in the Google Play Connect object right here, application ID. And then that will allow my application through this object to communicate with Google Play services and know that it's exactly the right app for the right functionality. So that's pretty cool. So we'll move on to the next. So now we're talking about GIFs. Now, it looks like it's in the Google Play Connector object, so we'll go to our help and we will look at description and see what it says about GIFs. GIFs/wish images. Images to be used when sending gifts or wishes to other players. I don't have any idea what a gift is. That's interesting. So we'll go through here and see if we see anything. Looks like we have assets we're supposed to include. Game details. Let's go ahead and make sure Fernando can join in. Fernando, please join the chat. So in ClickTeam chat, Fernando also wanted me to remind everybody to use that same number that I generated up here at the top in every Google Play Connector object in every frame. It has to be through every frame that you have the object. So a little pro tip there. GIFs. Well, let's look at the code at least. Go to our event list object. So again, he's resetting some strings. Then he has the send GIFs button. So when that line is triggered, the Google Play Connector object sends gift with description only for you with image 1. And data here should be your gift price of your virtual good. That's interesting. Let's go into the object itself. Send gift, send wish. So description, image string, which is a URL, or internal image number. Okay. So let's see where we stored that image in the object. So we'll go back to the object. And there it is. He's got a gift wish 1 and gift wish 2 image right there. So that's where he's referencing the images with the number 1, but it looks like you could also use a URL, which is kind of cool. And here's sending a wish, my best wishes, with a URL of an image. Let's see if we can pull up that image in the browser to see what we're looking at. Browser, drop it in, and it's the Fusion logo. So now we understand that it can do both embedded images inside the object as well as URL referenced objects. So that's kind of cool. I still don't know what a gift or a wish is, but you can do them. All right. So it looks like the Google Play object allows you to open an inbox dialog. And then you've got read requests, which I guess it stores requests. And what would be interesting to know is, let's see if we can get some information from the help. Open inbox UI, read gift. Okay, so your inbox is what's going to store your gifts and wishes that you've received. Okay, so it sounds like based on the actions, conditions, and expressions of the Google Play Game Connector object, it's what actually connects you to the Google Play services, and also has this additional functionality of gifts and wishes. So let's get to achievements. Everyone likes achievements. Now we'll notice that we still have the Google Play connection object, but we also have now the Google Play connector and achievement objects. We haven't mentioned it, but the Google Play objects is actually a collection of these objects here. So similar to, I believe, iOS, yeah, I got Fernando talking to me in chat. I'm going to tell him to say something. Say something then. There we go. All right. So these two objects are going to work together. The Google Play Game Connector object is what's going to, again, in this frame, connect us to the Google Play services. But it doesn't actually do the achievement work. The achievement object would do that, which is right here. All right, so it looks like Fernando is Mr. FVD Fernando. So if you have any questions that I'm not answering, ask him in the chat here on Twitch, and I will try to pass on questions from YouTube. And it looks like we have a new viewer on YouTube, so let's say hello to him. And back to Twitch. All right. So after we've logged in and made the connection, we have what he calls button. Will display achievements. So I believe display achievements, well, what that would do is ping the Google Play services, and in its own Google Play dialog, display the available achievements. I'm assuming that it would display both achievements that you've unlocked and achievements that you've yet to unlock. And maybe Fernando can confirm that in Twitch chat. All right, so button 3 is unlocking achievement or reading achievement. So we have a combo box, which is here, which I'm assuming at some point we must have dumped in the achievements. So let's find the combo box. And correct, right here, on all achievements read, we do a fast loop. See, all achievements read, reset. And then on loops ACHS, let's copy that. It's a fast loop, so there can't be many events that do it. And right, so here we clear it out, or erase all the achievements, and then we start loops ACHS, get achievement quantity number of times. So the Google achievement object will store, once the connection is made, the number of achievements you have, and then we can loop through them numerically, in this case in a fast loop. So I'm assuming in the fast loop we use the loop index as the achievement unlocked icon and the achievement ID, and then we add a line for that achievement ID using the fast loop. And that's how he's acquiring the different types of achievements. So that's kind of cool. So then once I have an achievement selected, I can then unlock it with this event. So what this event will do is I will pass the proper unlock achievement to the Google Play service. It will then unlock it, and then I will reread my achievement IDs. And if I'm understanding it correctly, that will trigger this again, which will then reset my group and relist the available achievements. And here's your error checking, which will display the type of error that you're receiving. And I bet you, because Fernando's so awesome, if we hit help, oh, that's the connector object, wrong objects. We've got all the help that we could use for achievement right here. For those of you that don't know, most of the Fusion developers will include in the object's properties on the About tab a help link, and that will open up whatever the help is for that particular object. And Fernando has done that for all of the Google Play objects. So proceed to unlock the achievement with the ID. Increment a specific achievement according to values. That's interesting. Read all achievements and display achievements. So that's how we get the achievements to unlock. But how do we set them in Google Play? That's what at least Perry was concerned about, questions like that. So let's see if we can discover how that works. So now we have down here achievements under game services. So I could add an achievement and say America rules. Heck yeah. And we can write for playing America Eagle and defending freedom. Because who doesn't like to defend freedom? And then I'd have to create an icon, and we would put that here. And of course, I don't have an icon, so you would take care of that. And then hidden or revealed, I'll go ahead and leave it revealed. And here's that incremental achievement. Are there several steps the user needs to achieve before this achievement is unlocked? So I guess that means that we could say there's 4 steps to achieve this achievement. And if I clicked it, then it would tell me how many steps I need. So what that incremental action did would be to add a value to this counter. So once the counter reads 3, 10, 100, whatever, then suddenly I've unlocked the achievement. But for me, I'm just going to leave that alone. Or you can do, then here's where you assign the amount of points for getting that achievement within the person's Google Play account. So that's pretty cool. And then you can list the order. So then I would save. Of course, I'd have to come back and repeat it, but then there's that ID. And I bet you that ID is what gets passed into my list object that we showed in the event. So there you go. That's how we do achievements in the Google Play system. Next up's leaderboards. Who doesn't like a good leaderboard? Let's take a look at the events here. Again, just like with the other objects, if you're curious as to how a leaderboard works, you can go here and hit help. And then you get your ACE, your actions, conditions, and expressions, the descriptions, and of course the included properties. And this particular one doesn't seem to have any properties, so who needs that? So let's take a look at these events real quick. Again, there's the Google Play object logging in, and remember, the Google Play object has to have that login number here on every single frame that you execute it. So if you're doing achievements, for instance, you would need, wherever you have levels, you know, if you're crafty and have it all in one level, then you'd only need the object there once. But if you're the kind of person who designs multiple frames, then you'd have to have that code in each frame in the Google Play connection object. Okay, so then that makes the connection. And then he's got log out, which next frame gets us to the next frame. Display. Again, that displays the leaderboard UI, so it's going to read and connect to Google Play, and then display the current leaderboard in its own dialog on a layer above your app. Then on read leaderboards, we reset a list and start loop lists leaderboards based on this. It's very much like the achievements, and that's going to create the number of leaderboards and then drop in a fast loop that here. So let's find that fast loop to make sure. Here it is, and yes, we add a line for each leaderboard, the leaderboard ID. So very similar. Now, how do we submit a score? On score player available. No. Let's see here. Read leaderboards. On loop top score. So we add a line. Center score. Doesn't seem immediately apparent. And Fernando didn't comment the code very well. So I will harass him about that later. Center score, top score. make list, read score, submit score. Here we go. So we've got 3 submit scores based on which leaderboard you're using. So we'll just go to leaderboard 1, and it's real simple. Once you have identified which leaderboard we're talking about, which you do here, we then submit score with fixed value to counter 2. Now, I don't see how it determines which leaderboard you're using. So let's see if, here we go, combo box. Let's sort by combo box. I wonder if the combo box is passing which leaderboard we're using. Doesn't seem to be. So that's a question I would ask Fernando. Fernando, how do we tell Google Play services through the objects which leaderboard we're submitting a score to? It's not immediately apparent to me. But I'm assuming that, again, in the Google Play services, you'd go to leaderboards, you'd add a leaderboard, and then you'd go through the process of submitting what you want for the leaderboard. And then the Google Play object connector connects the app to your code, and then through the leaderboard identification process, which let's do that again. We'll say generic leaderboard, and then we'll say score formatting, currency time, numeric, and then you'd add an icon. Larger is better. Tamper protection, that's interesting. Then you can have limits if you wanted, and then I would save it. And I bet you once I save it, we go back to the front, and there's that ID. So that ID would determine which leaderboard this is. So this number in conjunction with this number allows your app to communicate. So Fernando says, once the developer add the type of score, it's his responsibility to verify and send the correct value. I get that, Fernando, but if I have multiple leaderboards, how do I tell the app to tell Google Play which leaderboard I'm submitting a score to, is the question specifically. And then it goes on from there. Cloud save, that's pretty cool. Log in again, and then if we look at the events for cloud saving, we can save a snapshot. I wonder what snapshot is. Let's find out. Let's click the objects, and we'll go to the final tab, click help, well, not the final tab, and it looks like there is no help for cloud save. Maybe I didn't do the object right. Hold on. Cloud save, help, there we go. So, I'm curious as to what snapshot is. Load snapshot. Load a snapshot with specific parameters, snapshot name. Okay, maybe we need to go to the index. That doesn't tell me a whole lot. Okay. Google Play will allow you to save in the cloud your gained data. Okay. Interesting. Images to be used when saving snapshots. Alright. So, delete, read, save. Okay. So the things we're saving is the snapshot name, description, played time, image, snapshot data, string 5. Alright, so let's find out what string 5 does. String 5 may have some just text. Save games with data. Counter 2. Counter 2. Set counter to 1,000. Add 100 to a counter. Okay, so I guess you would. It's not the same ideology as a snapshot was when you had the save state in Fusion for Windows, where you could just launch your Windows-made app at a certain state that it was last in when you saved. I think this is more or less you could concatenate a bunch of data into a string positions of objects, names of objects, points, scores, and all that. Use a delimiter in the string parser, and then save that as a huge string into the save cloud, and then unload it, and then you'd have to unpack it with the string parser object using a delimiter, I think is what snapshot means in that case. So, as I promised, I've talked a little bit about it, and yes, I'm not an expert on the Google Play objects, but I hope at least for Perry that he can see where in the Google Play services you pull the Google Play ID and do some of the integration server side, and then how to use the code. The code's pretty straightforward. I am going to chastise later Fernando for a little bit for maybe commenting a little more, but he works really hard for ClickTeam and is consistently punching out stuff. Does anyone have any questions concerning the Google Play objects before we get to the fun stuff? I want to check YouTube. No questions there yet. And I'm not seeing any questions yet on Twitch. I'll give you guys a couple seconds. There's a delay for me. Sneak a little bit of my favorite beverage. All right, well, I'm not seeing any more questions. So we'll go on to the next thing. So a recently released Made with Fusion game came out. The game's called Sponchies. And it is made by Trerplay, who previous release on Steam was Sophie's Curse, which was a pretty well done little 3D horror type game. He told me that Sponchies was supposed to be a small project, and as we've all probably experienced, small projects turn into large projects with scope growth, and you end up taking forever to make it. He was pretty happy about this game. It looks pretty cute, and kind of reminds me of one of those, endless hazards running around like Meat Boy kind of game. I'm probably going to die quickly and often as we play it, but we'll play it for a couple minutes and see what we think. Go ahead and pause that so we don't lose too much bandwidth. And I have my copy on Steam. So here we go. Probably just killed my computer. There you go. Cool logo. Gamepad or keyboard? I guess we'll go keyboard. I don't have a gamepad set up. Let's check out the settings. Maybe turn down the volume a little bit. Alright, so it looks like we can scale the screen. I wonder if he did his in real time. Ah, okay, auto resolution off. And that's kind of cool. Resolution. Full screen music volume, VSync, credits. I'm going to check the credits. And you made the back only with the B key. I don't have a B key, so let's see if one of these buttons here work. Maybe escape. There you go, it's escape. Alright, let's play the game. Oh no, they want us to join the Sponchies. I don't know if I'm ready for that. I only have to beat 50 easy levels. Easy. Alright, so we got this little guy right here with a glowing light on his head. That's cool. Ah, the old sign explaining what to do. So I gotta jump. Okay. And I guess that's a switch for a end point and go then to shoot. Okay, very, very chemical world Sonic working there. So my dogs are barking because the doorbell rang. So ignore that. Alright, there's another switch here. That doesn't do anything. Oh, look at that, it's timed. And I'm dead. Sorry about the dogs. So my second time around, 5 minutes 40 seconds. 5 seconds. 5.40 seconds? Let's see if I can do it faster. Oh no, I didn't hit the switch. Oh, idiots. So much for doing it faster. Next level. Hey, look, I got an achievement. Steamworks object. Okay, so shift allows me to... Oh, whoa. Okay, so it moves pretty fast. And then, oh, jeez. This will probably play a lot better with a controller. Woohoo! Oh, I got an achievement for that too. Hopefully this isn't one of those billion achievement games. There is one game made in Fusion that all the game is achievements, and users were like upset at us for this guy making these games, and I'm like, well, we didn't make it, so why are you getting mad at us? Not doing very well on this. Maybe it's the up key. Clearly it's supposed to jump off the wall. Oh, great. Ah. Oh. He said 50 easy levels, didn't he? Ah! Oh, come on. Oh. Well, at least I didn't get chewed up by the gear. Oh. Oh, that's just not right. Alright, there you go. Oh, okay, good. That's what I wanted to do. We'll get it. I'll practice a couple more times before I decide to really do it. No! Are you kidding me? He's not kidding me. Oh, it's not there. So maybe all I can get through is level 40, and that's level 4, and the game's over for me. Maybe this will be the quickest demo. Oh, cool. I'll just wait. Watch it not time out now. Really? So he gave away some codes to Reactor users on Patreon. Did anybody try the game? Besides me trying it right now? I'm dying miserably. No! Yes, that's exactly was the plan. Okay, good. One more time. Or probably 100 more times. Okay, good. We're gonna time out. Here, let me slide to my death. Good. It looks like we got a poor frame rate. Is that? Yeah, it looked like we got a poor frame rate. So let's go ahead and escape. So I made it to level 4 without dying 100 times. Not good. I love that. That's great. This guy. Yes, I'd like to leave. Thank you. Alright. Well, cool. So, that's funny. It changed the resolution of the browser. So, Sponchies. Not my cup of tea. Obviously, you see I can't play it very well. But it's only $1.99, and he could definitely use your support as a fellow Fusion developer. Big picture, you can play it on the big picture mode on Steam, and it has full controller support. I bet you it plays a whole lot better with the controller. I'm not PC master race like most of you, but I'm definitely use controllers whenever I'm playing on PC. And it looks like our frame rate was pretty bad, so I apologize for that. We'll have to get a new streaming computer. Believe it or not, I streamed the entire Reactor on a Surface tablet, so pretty bad, pretty good for a Surface tablet. So I think that's about it for today. Does anyone have any questions? Let's see if we have any questions. Not seeing any questions. Okay. Well, guys, hop into the Reactor on Patreon and let me know what you want me to do next week. We have a game that we're going to do next week. Let me show it to you on Twitter. It's a really cool game. I can't wait for it to be released. And the game, go to our profile. You know, it'd be really cool if my resolution was right. Oh, it is right. Weird. Anyways, it's this game right here. We're gonna. No, that's not it. Where'd it go? Huh? Oh, here it is. We're gonna stream this next week. Fission Superstar X looks like a really, really cool game. Ow. I just want to know what this thing does. What? So that's next week. We'll check that out next week, and we'll do some Fusion development next week. You guys let me know what you want to do. Chris with Click Team, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.